welcome to our March-April 2023 news on Hungary. These are our SE news, and we report on economic, construction, real estate trends in all major countries in the Central and Southeast Europe, such as Hungary, Czechia, Slovakia, Bulgaria, Romania, Poland. Today, we start with our news on Hungary and particularly the construction trends in the last quarter. The activity start of industrial buildings and warehouses continues to be worth mentioning, as other segments hardly saw any major project starts. The total value of started multi-unit housing projects accounts for only a third of the volume a year earlier. Unfortunately, there's almost nothing to report about in civil engineering either. Here, the huge drop is also due to the fact that the first quarter of last year was the best quarter of all times, with started civil engineering works worth 850 billion Hungarian forints. Now this year barely reached 60 billion Hungarian forints so far. The latest EBI construction activity report has found that after the weak Q3 2022, Q4 2022 saw a slight nominal expansion in activity start in Hungarian construction. Nonetheless, the value of started construction works was still very low. Between October and December 2022, they totaled roughly 650 billion Hungarian forints. This time, though, for better comparability, the analysts of EBI construction activity report also looked at the development of activity start in Q4 2022 at constant prices. This shows that Q4 witnessed a considerably lower construction value, a bit more than Q3. Yet, whole year figures were high thanks to the high activity start in the first two quarters of 2022 and projects entered construction on more than 3,600 billion Hungarian forints. Although it was a new record at current prices, it did not approach the highest values of 2017 and 2018 at constant prices and was at the level of 2019 and 2021. Annual change compared to 2021 at current prices was about plus 21%, while at constant prices it meant a drop of 0.6%. The modest rise in activity start at current prices was mostly coming from the expansion of building construction, with the value of started construction works being 500 billion Hungarian forints in Q4 2022. Overall, the entire 2022 brought high numbers. Projects worth more than 2,000 billion Hungarian forints entered implementation, the highest ever registered. In Q4, the improvement over Q3 was evident in building construction even at constant prices. But the value of started works, except for 2020, was lower than the quarterly values of the past years. At constant prices, the activity start indicator dropped during 2022, minus 16.8%, and was roughly at the level of 2019. The better last 3 months were also typical for multi-unit housing and non-residential buildings, whether we look at current or constant prices. In 2022, non-residential construction works were launched at the value of more than 1,800 billion Hungarian forints, the highest amount so far, thanks to the good first half of the year. Even at constant prices, last year was considered a strong year. Constant price activity start of EBI construction activity report was the third highest after 2018 and 2021. Building construction projects launched in Q4 2022 included the Cattle Battery Factory, the BMW plant, and the EcoPro BM electric battery cathode manufacturing plant in Debrecen. Construction also began on the CTP warehouses, the University of Veterinary Medicine, and the Siemens Energy M2B gas and steam turbine parts manufacturing plant in Budapest, as well as the logistics hall of Hello Parks in Fott. We go on to the news on the residential asset class in Hungary. Transactions have increased, but the general mood remained very cautious across all regions of the country, Duna House Group reports. There were 6,253 transactions in February, which is a slight 7% increase compared to January, but a 50% decrease year on year. Clients took out a total of 35 billion Hungarian forints in mortgage loans, which is 5% less than in the previous month, and a robust 66% decrease year over year. Despite these figures, Duna House Group expects a gradual recovery in the coming months, both in transactions and loans. December was the weakest month in 2022 in terms of sales and loans taken out to buy homes, local brokerage firm Duna House reports. There were only 6,474 transactions last month, which is the worst result in 2022. Estimated figures in December were 19% lower than in November and 43% lower on a year-on-year basis. The age experts also register only 125,171 transactions for the whole 2022, which is a 20% decline compared to the previous year. No gain is projected for the current year 2023. Duna House said it. The firm's estimate is even lower than for the last year, expecting only 90,000 to 110,000 transactions this year. Duna House lending arm Credipass reported a sharp decrease in loans. We move on to the office asset class news in Hungary. Investors prefer sustainability to be measured in the case of commercial buildings. Therefore, new detailed rules will be elaborated and so-called green passport for properties will be introduced. International law firm Baker McKenzie and CBRE reported after a special roundtable discussion in Budapest. Experts at both firms emphasized that ESG compliance should be measured over the whole life cycle of the buildings, starting from planning and including construction, energy consumption, and fit-out works into the local physical and social environment. There are, however, two planned groups of regulations which contain some elements of those proposals. One is about projects funded by the state, and it is putting some green conditions. The other one is about rules for the construction industry. A green card for buildings is to be introduced, which will give way to a standardized green certification system in the country. Chartered surveyors of properties try to identify factors relevant to ESG. These factors include availability of a green certificate, availability of any other type of certificate, energy efficiency, the type of energy used, classic or renewable sources. And finally, with some short news on the industrial asset class in Hungary. Industrial stock rises sharply in Hungary in 2022. The total modern industrial stock in Hungary was 4,582,000 square meters at the end of Q4 2022. The stock in Greater Budapest reached over 3 million square meters, while a further 1,445,000 square meters of industrial space is located in regional Hungary. At the end of the quarter, a total of 120 square meters of logistic space was vacant. The vacancy rate at the end of Q4 2022 was 3.8% in Greater Budapest. Regional Hungary had over nearly 72,000 square meters of vacant space, corresponding to a vacancy rate of 5%. These were our March-April news on Hungary, economic, construction, real estate trends. Stay with us and check also our news on the other CSEE countries such as Bulgaria, Romania, Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, Serbia, and Croatia. See you very soon. Bye.